welcome back. We want to talk about some vision, and the man to do that is always John Hovannisian from Harvard Eye Associates. Thanks for joining us.
Good to see you, Michael.
Good to see you. 25-year anniversary we were talking about for a second?
I just had my 25th wedding anniversary.
Congratulations.
That's right. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, exciting. It's passed quickly, and I hope the next 25 go well, too. So,
the old joke is they only give you 12 for manslaughter. So, 25 years. All right, we want to talk about changing subject.
That's dark. Let's return to the light.
It turned dark really fast. I want to talk about the difference between nearsightedness and farsightedness, then we'll get into our main subject. But what's the exactly difference for people to understand?
Great question, and tough to understand for a lot of people. So nearsightedness actually is pretty easy. It means your eyes are naturally focused up close, and that you can see really well up close without glasses, almost no matter what age you are. But beyond that, seeing distance vision is very blurry. So you need glasses or contact lenses to see road signs, to see things clearly on the TV, and so forth. The opposite is farsightedness, but most people who are young and farsighted don't know it. And that's because when you're farsighted, the lens inside the eye is required to strain a little bit to see distance vision, and strain even more to focus to see up close. And when you're young and you've got lots of flexibility in your lens, you can do that without glasses. For many people who are farsighted. But then you start to have birthdays, and usually in your 30s or 40s, you start to need glasses for the hardest things, which is seeing up close. And eventually, people start to need glasses for distance vision, too.
So that's what happened to me. I could see everything. At least I thought I could see everything pretty well. And then the up close going away, and then the far away. Now it's starting to get fuzzy in the far away, too.
That's right. And so farsightedness means, when you reach a certain age, you need glasses for everything. And it kind of just keeps getting worse. So it's the opposite of the gift that keeps giving. It's
Now, there's been a procedure out there for a while. It's called ICL. Tell us what that is.
Yeah, so many people have heard of LASIK surgery, which is a procedure where we treat on the very surface of the eye to correct nearsightedness. This is a procedure where we treat the same problem, but we do it inside the eye. And to do it, we use a lens implant called an ICL, or implantable Collamer lens. And it's a tiny, thin lens, much thinner than a contact lens, or similar to a contact lens maybe, but it goes inside the eye. It's implanted in surgery. We make a tiny opening in the front window of the eye and use, as you can see in the graphic here, almost like a soda straw, a tiny little thin tube that goes inside the eye, inserts the lens, and then it unfurls inside. Then we take this lens and position it behind the iris, behind the colored part of the eye. So it really is invisible. You cannot see it in the eye at all. It's hard to see contact lenses, but even harder to see an ICL because it's hidden behind the iris. This lens can remain permanently, and we use it primarily for people who are who wear contact lenses, but want LASIK and need an option other than glasses or contact lenses to see.
Now, what's new about it? Because it's been around for a while, but was something changed that we're talking about it now?
That's a great question. Yeah, so the ICL actually was invented over 25 years ago, but some recent enhancement in this lens and its design allow us to do the procedure more easily, more quickly and safely, and so it's even more appealing than it ever was. Some of the other advantages of it, an ICL allows patients, in many cases, to see better without glasses than they ever did before with glasses or contact lenses. So for a lot of our patients who have it, not only can they see without glasses or contacts, but they see better than they've ever imagined they could see in their life.
Now, who's a candidate for it, though?
Yeah, great question. So patients who, again, are nearsighted, or nearsighted with astigmatism, because we can correct that with it as well. People who don't have significant cataracts, so this is typically people who are under age 50. Now, 50 is not when you get cataract, but some of the changes in your eye at age 50 start to make it a little less desirable to have an ICL at that age. Of course, it depends on the person. So who have a stable eyes and otherwise healthy eyes. There's certain measurements you have to meet as well in order to be a candidate. There's some overlap between where we can do LASIK and where we can do ICLs. So one of the things that we love is that we have all this different technology and can kind of match it to what the patient really wants.
Is it a lot like a cataract surgery where I'm going to do one eye and then we're going to check out, make sure everything's okay, then we're going to do the other one? Or is it all in one day?
Great question. Yeah, we typically do both eyes on the same day as we do with LASIK. It's done in a similar type of setting in a surgery center where we like the way we do cataract surgery. So for patients, it's even easier because they get an IV and they're sedated a little bit, so they're relaxed. The IV doesn't hurt, and it really makes things easy for them to go through the procedure.
And am I up and out and I'm seeing great like that day?
People literally get up from the procedure and can begin to see.
Okay.
And then can return to most normal activity the next day. So they can drive and read and shower and use a computer and do that all without glasses. We ask them to wait about a week before they do any major exercise more than walking. And to keep sweat and water out of their eyes for about 2 weeks.
Is that just because of the healing process of the slight incision that was made to get it in there?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
We want to keep the eye clean. But normal activity like showering is completely safe. We just want them to stay out of swimming pools and hot tubs in the ocean for a couple weeks.
Okay. Now, sometimes there's complications like in anything in life. What would a complication be from this that a patient would notice?
Yeah, great question. Very unlikely. In the FDA study of this technology, we really saw a very, very low rate of complications, less than we even see with cataract surgery, and less than LASIK. So what can happen is patients can develop, very rarely, infection, or could have retinal detachment. People who are nearsighted are at some risk for that. Other things that can happen is cataract can develop if the patient somehow has a bad reaction. Very rare, though, that any of these things happen. Also, glaucoma is a possibility with almost any procedure that we do, but this is one of those. The neat thing about the ICL, though, is that the lens is removable. Now, we generally don't need to remove the lens, but if you have some of these issues that I'm describing, removing the lens.
For instance, if you could develop cataracts later in life, there's going to be a procedure there, right?
Exactly right. And one of the nice things about that is if you've had an ICL, the cornea has been unaltered. We haven't done anything to the surface of the eye. And so we have an easier time getting accurate cataract surgery later on for patients who previously had ICL than for patients who had previously had LASIK. So that's one more advantage to this procedure. A little better vision and a more complete correction. We can also correct patients who are not candidates for LASIK because this corrects high levels of nearsightedness if you're super nearsighted. It's reversible, and that allows easier and more accurate cataract surgery later in life.
Now, a person like myself, I wear glasses for the vision up close, but now I need them a little bit for the distance as well. Is this an option? Will insurance cover this, or is this kind of an elective surgery, as they say?
As a general rule, if you can solve your problem with glasses or contact lenses, the surgical option is not covered by insurance or by Medicare. In the case of ICLs, this is patients pay for this procedure. And it is a little more expensive than LASIK, although many people feel it's worth it because of the advantages I mentioned. For surgery, like for someone like you, we have options for someone like you as well. If you have a significant cataract, then typically the surgery itself, which is the big cost, is covered by medical insurance. If you don't have significant cataract, then you're going to pay a little more for that portion, and as well as whatever type of fancy lens implant that you select if you have a lens implant.
And that lens implant that you do with the ICL, it's good for life if everything goes well?
Yeah, it'll last as long as you do. For most of us, what happens is that eventually we develop cataract. And if cataract forms, then we would remove the ICL and put in another implant to take the place of the cloudy lens inside your eye. The ICL, to be clear, the ICL doesn't get cloudy, no matter how long you live. But the lens of your eye that you were born with, whether or not you have an ICL, will eventually get cloudy. That's what we call cataract.
All right, that's what we call ICLs, cataracts, and all the good stuff. We're talking with John Ovanesian from Harvard Eye Associates. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thanks. Thank you. Lots of great technology. Just keeps getting better.
I know, right? Man, who needs glasses?
Yeah.
Except for me.
We can fix that.
All right, thanks a lot, John. You're watching This Day. We'll be right back.